Okay.
Dude, this kid has taken over my house.
They have a
They
have a tendency to do that.
Yeah, I know, man. It's insane. I'm like using her little toy stand right now, but we're good.
It doesn't matter what age either. They're like a black hole.
Yeah.
That's slowly growing. And
yeah, that's a
know,
wonderful way to describe your child.
He's not wrong though.
just the outer edges that are pulling in all the matter around it slowly get larger and larger as it gets older. But yeah, so like supposedly, because I've Googled it before and done some reading, which makes me an expert, like 20 minutes is like sort of the ideal time where you can nap, but you don't feel like a zombie afterwards. Because I struggle with that a lot too, where like if I take a nap and it's an hour and a half, 2 hours, whatever, like I wake up like really out of it and really just out of it. And it's it's because like your body goes through some of those deeper sleep cycles, not like REM necessarily, but like that's apparently what really messes you up. So if you only do like 20 minutes, that doesn't put you in like a deep sleep, but it puts you in sort of more of a restful sleep.
But see, for me, it takes me like half an hour to fall asleep in the first place. Yeah, dude. It takes me so long to fall asleep.
I feel like then when I can lay down and I'm done, dude.
But
like,
dude,
no matter where I am, if I close my eyes, I'm out.
But when I finally actually fall asleep, I'm asleep. And it's like, that's why my naps are rarely those 15-minute naps unless I get woken up. Like if I nap, it's 2 hours. Like, and then I wake up and I hate everybody and everything.
I have to lay there for like an hour and a half before I'm even like remotely ready to fall asleep. Yeah, dude, I sleep like shit.
Wild. Yeah, I have not been sleeping well last couple nights or last couple weeks actually.
A skill I've prided myself on was my ability to, and maybe fucking narcolepsy for all I know, but like the ability to fall asleep pretty much anywhere, at any time.
That's how my dad is, dude. He'll be sitting there on his laptop, like in his little fucking chair, like the old man he is, and he'll just pass out like with his head just going down and hands on his laptop. And
that was me up to about an hour ago.
Solid.
Drool, just
that's the worst. Yeah. But we're back for THP. And we're joined by a very good friend of ours, Mr. Brenden Meyer. Is it Meyer or Mayer?
You ask me this every time we do this, Jake.
No,
it's Meyer.
It's Meyer.
I feel like we've known each other long enough to where you should know how to say my last name.
I have, but I swear other people say Mayer and it throws me off because I'm like, I don't think it's Mayer. I'm pretty sure it's Meyer.
Yeah, it's Meyer.
Okay.
Well, there's no A in there.
I'm an asshole. So, yeah, but the EY could shut up. Okay, shut up. I know how to spell it. I don't know how to say it. Regardless, I'm excited.
Yes, this episode, as well as countless others, is brought to you by BlackBoxCages.com. You need racks, you need cages. BlackBox has it. Jake's got the wonderful Wonder Wall behind him.
Call it the Black Wall.
Even though they're white.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the point.
White Wall?
No, because it's BlackBox.
Okay. Well, either way, if they make it and you need it, I really got that mixed up. If you need it, they probably make it.
Yeah, 100%.
Fantastic quality as far as the builds themselves, the engineering behind them, all of it, full circle, full stop. It's fantastic quality.
And I would if you're into, cage, a lot of people are super into cages and doing these awesome builds. If you go on BlackBox and look at all their caging sizes, they're really set apart from a lot of people because they have sizes that you didn't know you needed, but then you thought about it and you're like, damn, like that would work really well. A lot of companies just have like the 3x2x2, the 4x2x2, and then like a tall one, and they only make 4 or 5 cages. BlackBox has probably 10 to 15 different sizes, and then you can set them up in so many different ways to do more of a bioactive thing, or and they do shelves. You can do permanent shelf. You can do removable shelves. Like they're very, very customizable, and pretty much any size you think you might need, they have. I'm pretty sure they go up to like an 8 or 9 foot cage at this point. I think it's 8 foot. But
yeah, so I've been talking to him because the past couple months, Jen's been like, you know, if you have an idea for something, she's like, send it, because we're trying to think of some newer things to bring to the table. And I finally did have an idea come to me that's more arachnid invert related.
Of course it is.
Yep, because that's my life now.
Yep.
So I don't know sort of what the status is on that and where that's at, but if it ends up coming to fruition, no one else is offering anything like it. It's like invert
arachnid.
It's gonna be the arachnid shelf.
Come on, I thought that was funny. Arachnid.
So
yeah,
we'll see.
Oh, fuck off.
The invert world gets left in the dust when it comes to a lot of the caging stuff, especially PVC related things. So this is an idea I had. I was like, let's, you know,
because y'all are weird.
I got some input from the Arachnerds chat, and one of them was Hannes, who lives over in Germany, and he was like, "Oh, this is, you know, here's what I would want, like blah 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 blah. You know, you get the all encompassing European input, U.S. input, a lot of stuff." So,
hell yeah, that'll be cool.
Well, and Keller's in the chat. Look at him all peppy. He got his.
Speaking of which, congrats on those eggs, Keller. That was dope.
What eggs did he get? I haven't seen.
The Cerastes.
Oh,
freaking pop, dude! It was a big clump of those things. I was like, how'd you even fit all those in there?
I always wonder that, dude, because even like some of these rat snakes, I'm like, oh, she'll give a small clutch. And like last year, one of my smallest breeder females, I was like, oh, she'll give me, you know, a 8, 9, maybe 10 egg clutch. She dropped 17. I was like, what the fuck? It's crazy.
I see that with some of the like the 5-line skinks and stuff we have here. There was one on my parents' property that was flipping 10, and she was under one of a wooden board.
Yeah,
there was like, yeah, you saw that picture. I was like, there ain't no way all these eggs fit in that lizard. But
and those eggs are big too, at least for the size
in ratio to the lizard. Yeah, dude,
shit was crazy,
nuts. I need to go over there and see if they've hatched yet or not. I've checked on her a couple times, and she's been there with them. Like, she hasn't left them, which I thought was interesting. But
hopefully they don't get eaten by a raccoon egg.
Yeah, she sucks at hiding because the spot isn't that inconspicuous. So, so use the code THN25 at checkout for BlackBox. We'll wrap that up, and then Fulvius Apparel, fulviusapparel.com. Brendan has the Send Newts shirt.
My favorite.
The new I Heart Bothrop shirt.
Send Newts. I haven't seen.
Jake loves it. Jake likes it.
Yeah, that one I like.
It's a good one, man.
Yeah, that one I like. I don't do all the puns, man.
I wore it to the Tennessee Aquarium, and I got a few people that were like,
That's funny. Yeah, I like some of them, but like I'm more of like the old school type of design stuff. I really like those.
Yeah.
But all the puns, man, I just telling you, somebody's gonna steal the hognose idea I keep giving you, and you just won't do it. So
it's more complicated than you think.
No, it's not.
All right.
I'm still waiting on the cat gecko design. So,
dude, I got like such a laundry list of.
I know.
People like, when are you gonna make that happen? And I'm like, I haven't forgotten about it. It's just been like buried in the.
Meanwhile, you make a shirt. Meanwhile, you make a shirt that says, "I lost my virginity at a Knocked Loose concert." Yeah. What? That was crazy.
And I saw your mom on Springer one. I thought that was pretty good too. I'm gonna wear that one tomorrow.
That's crazy.
I just sometimes I just get an idea and I'm like, let's try it. See how it does.
Because you only like your ideas.
I don't have to sit on inventory, so I have the ability to be like, if a design doesn't do well, like big whoop. I'm not sitting on 30 shirts, you know. It's like, so I can throw stuff at the wall all day long to see what sticks. A lot of stuff doesn't. Oh well. But as of this month, I am a sponsor of the Colibri Corruption podcast for Fulvius. So started that. You can also use the code THN at checkout there. Get 15% off your order. It's the exclusive promo code for THN listeners and viewers like you. And then Steve Snaketuary and his Venom Hot Sauce get the whole lineup. Cottonmouth will forever be where it's at, if you ask Jake and I. So get that one, collect the whole set. You're helping Steve out if you get those hot sauces. He does a lot for herps as far as public outreach, education, all that good stuff. That man stays busy.
Yeah.
He's always got something going on across the board. So
yeah, no doubt.
Give him a follow at the very least on all the socials. It's Steve Snaketuary.
Yes, sir.
But we're here. We're back. 224. Right. It's been again, schedules have been weird. I've been weird, if we're being honest. I've gone back and forth a lot the last couple weeks, probably, as far as like overall taking a break from podcast stuff, but still don't know exactly what I'm going to do there. So part of the irregularity that we've had across with all the shows, at least, you know, between the 3 that I'm involved in, like some of that has been just not like, I don't know how to get into it, but it's been a struggle for me as far as making them happen. But
you just feeling like unmotivated or just tired?
A little bit of everything. It's just one of those things where like lately I haven't felt sort of the excitement, and I haven't felt as pumped.
Yeah.
To do the podcast as much as I used, like as I was, you know, there was a point where it was something that I, you know, looked forward to very much on a weekly basis. And as of the last, you know, probably month or two, there's been a couple of weeks where I'm just like, not feeling it.
Yeah.
Just not into it, but
I feel that.
I don't know. We'll see. I don't want to take a break, because the problem I found is that I have all these things that I really enjoy and I really love, but the problem is I cannot love them all equally and give them all at the same time. So
yeah,
it's been a weird phase for me.
Yeah,
but I don't know how you do it. I did one show and it was a lot. You do like fucking 10, it feels like.
Yeah, and then plus you're also kind of the backbone of everything, you know, with scheduling, not scheduling, but like setting up the show for everybody. And you know, we certainly appreciate you on that level of it. You know, flipping 10 certainly wouldn't happen if it wasn't for you and making everything work for us. So, but at the same time, let me know if there's anything I can do for you, man. Help out where I can.
I think a lot of it's just been a lack of motivation, and then just feeling. I know he's kind of felt a similar way, just in terms of like the effort that myself and everyone else, you know, has put into sort of pushing the shows a little bit to be a little more engaging, like putting more effort into them instead of kind of just like, you know, Phil and I are especially bad about it. You and I are really bad about it. Like, do we have anybody lined up? Nope. cool. Well, it's 5 o'clock on Monday, and we don't have anything, and so.
And that's always my biggest thing is like I feel like every week I'm like, okay, I'm gonna think about this and have somebody lined up and get it. We're gonna be good, and then all of a sudden it's fucking Tuesday, Wednesday, and I'm like, shit.
Yeah, and it just like I understand it. Like I can't even. I can get mad at myself about it. I don't feel like I can get mad at anybody else because everyone's got lives, everyone's got jobs. Like it is what it is. Like life is a thing, and everyone's in it. So
yeah. The biggest change for me with it has been like with the new position at work. Like I used to, my other position, it's the same place, just a different position. In my other spot, I could spend a lot of time at work thinking about other stuff, reptile stuff, and doing that. But with this, I'm very busy all day, every day now, and meetings constantly, and thinking about 4 million different things. And the weeks are going by so fast, and I'm like, holy shit, this is.
Boy, the days are long and the weeks are short. It's
it
is nuts. And there's I don't know how many times like Phil and I, we've been like, yeah, we're gonna get somebody lined up. Like we've got 2 people in mind, 3 people in mind, whatever. And then Monday rolls around, it's like no one hit them up. It's just like, oh shit. So
yeah,
I think it's just one of those things where, myself included, sort of myself especially, like have gotten kind of comfortable and haven't really pushed to sort of, even if it's just like 10%, trying to make the shows a little better and change it up, get more challenging guests on that are, I think I told Phil, like, I think the way that I kind of get around the hurdle I'm at right now is just trying to go for more of the people that I don't think would do it. Like more academic type, venomous stuff in particular for snakes and stogies. Like there's been a couple of people that I've had on my hit list for years that I've just been like, they're not going to do it. They're not going to do it. And I just need to stop beating around the bush and just do it. Cause you miss 100% of the shots you don't take. So
yeah, for sure.
And
that's why, like, big shout out to Gabe with Flippin' 10. I've been relying on the fellas a lot for guests, and Gabe is really, and Sky, they've both really come through. But Gabe
knows everybody and their mother.
Gabe knows a lot of people, and a lot of people like Gabe, and he'll reach out to people that I don't know at all, and he's got a lot of good connections. So he's been a really good addition to Flippin' 10 and keeping that ship running smooth. But yeah, it's been fun, but man, it's hectic.
Dude, podcasting is not like, it looks so easy, but when you actually are doing it, it's a lot of work, dude. It really is.
Yeah, it is.
When are you and Jack bringing it back?
Dude, Jack is so busy, man. I can pretty much do it. I don't know. I'm pretty busy too now with the baby and like the new shop that I'm trying to, start up and all this stuff. So we're both just so busy. I'd love to start it up though again. We were gonna do we talked a few weeks back. We were gonna go to like once a month for a while just to like keep the rhythm going.
Yeah.
But with him moving and new job and stuff, he's kind of up in the air on a lot of stuff right now.
Yeah.
So
for sure.
I'd like to bring it back though, for sure. It's so much fun.
Yeah, that was a fun show that y'all were doing.
Yeah, but it was a lot of like behind the scenes, like research and getting the pictures ready and like video, and it was a lot.
Yeah, we keep it pretty simple. I think with us, it's like we rarely. For THP, we hardly even do an outline nowadays.
Yeah.
But we need to do better about that. But Flippin' 10, like, unless somebody says something outlandish, I don't edit anything. I put in a song and we rock and roll, and it's pretty easy. And then we do a outline for that as well. But yeah, that one I have to do more of an outline and have to really think about some of the stuff, because some people, it's one thing like when you're talking to somebody like us talking as friends, we can just get updates and just kind of chatting and it's fun. But when somebody you don't know, it's like, oh geez, You know,
Especially when somebody that like you've been following for a while that you've never really talked to, but you're like so into what they do, and
right.
you just don't want to sound like a freaking idiot.
Yeah, for sure. I've had, especially in the early days, man. I feel like I went like way back a while ago and actually listened to the first episode we did at THP, and I was like, "Holy shit, I sound like an idiot, dude!" Like, whoa. But it's hard to believe we've been doing this. What, going on 8 years now?
Somewhere between 6 and 8.
No, 6. Yeah, no,
I don't know because it was.
Yeah, it hasn't been 8. Yeah, it was, wasn't it?
I don't know.
It's 2019 or 20. Yeah. Shit. No,
My
it was
life is
20.
flashing before my eyes.
I'm pretty sure it was actually 2017. Now I'm thinking about it, because I moved back to Buford right in the beginning in January 2017. I'm pretty sure we started that year. So yeah,
Damn.
crazy.
Yeah. Here we are.
Here we are.
But Brenden, it's been a while since we've had you on.
It's been what?
A couple years.
2.5 years, maybe.
It may have even been 3-ish, but yeah, Jeff, it's not like the days of the margaritas.
Yeah.
And the eating tortilla chips while recording.
Oh, dude, you pissed me off so bad with that shit. You just be munching right into the freaking microphone. God, I hated that.
That night in particular was different. Okay,
you did it more than
in
one.
A rush. I did it like 2 times tops.
You were always eating something, boy.
Nah.
You were always eating something, and I was always getting hammered.
Yeah.
And it was a bad combination.
Yeah, it was when we were just boys. Now we are men.
No, we're men.
But last time we had Brenden on, he had a considerably larger collection, and in recent years, you've considerably sort of slimmed down and sort of really lasered in the focus on stuff.
Yeah.
So how does that look now compared to what it was, and like overall, have you found that to be a net positive? Like, has it been? Do you still like having sort of the not necessarily minimalist, but the less is more sort of set up with what you've got and the projects you're working with?
I mean, I still have a pretty considerable, at least in my eyes, a pretty considerably large collection. I mean, I have 2 rooms full of shit. So, I mean,
I don't really think it wasn't a downsize. It was more like a switch.
It was like a refocusing for the most part.
Yeah.
Yeah, before I was basically all carpets. I think I had like 50 carpets stuffed into my extra bedroom, which was insane.
Been there
with like a little walkway in between, you know?
Yeah.
So I just kind of, because as a kid, I was always into geckos more and lizards and stuff. So like I was talking to my girlfriend one night, and I was just like, man, I love the carpet so much, but I'm so burnt out on just keeping snakes. Because I just gotten to the point where it was like, go in once every 2 weeks, throw food in, clean water bowls, and it was just like over and over and over the same shit. She was like, just get a couple geckos and see if you still enjoy it. And then I got the cat geckos, and I was like, fuck it, I'm selling everything. I'm all in on geckos now. So that's basically what happened. But collection wise, I mean, it's still, I have a good bit of animals, but it's mostly things with legs these days, which is
still have
easier and harder at the same time, you know.
You've still got some Morelia.
Yeah, so I got the pair of Brettles from Ben. Skylar sent me a reverse trio of Poplins a while back, and then I have a coastal hanging around. So I still have a small group.
Yeah,
I'll never not have carpets. That's for sure. Just a lot less.
And then as far as I know, like we talked about cat geckos, I think the last time you were on, because that was sort of when you were just sort of really getting into those.
Yeah.
But you've also got some other projects now with legs. What are you? doing now?
Okay, let's see.
I feel like there's probably stuff that I'm not aware of that a lot of us aren't aware of because you are those guys where it's like you don't show everything you've got going on.
Yeah.
It's like you come to find out it's much deeper than you realize as far as.
Oh, dude, I have a shit ton of leopard geckos now. Like almost an entire room full at this point.
Oh, I didn't realize you expanded on leopards that much, dude. Damn.
Yeah, I have like, I'm trying to think, maybe 24 adults, a ton of holdbacks, and I'm hatching like 50 or 60 babies this year, which is like small in the scheme of leopard geckos.
I mean,
like most of those guys hatch 200, 300, 400, 500 a year, but like,
yeah, but that's like in retrospect, those guys
Yeah.
are about doing this full time.
exactly, yeah.
You got a whole job and a family.
Yeah. So the leopard geckos are the big thing. Those that's what's paying for everything else these days for the most part. I have the Polycris, what are they called? The monkey tail anoles or mini colored bush anole, whatever you want to call them. Which I'm hoping they're like, I've been in very close contact with Roy about those because he's been helping out a lot with selling them to me originally, and then like I've just kind of been updating him as I go. And we've kind of come to the conclusion that they should be breeding any time now. So that's like main focus. That's what I'm really shooting for, because there's like a handful of us that have captive bred ones these days. There's not very many out there, so I'd really like to get those into the hands of more people because they're fucking cool.
They look like fun.
They're so awesome. They're so personable. They're little like personalities. They're crazy. They're super easy to keep. I mean, it's just like they're insane.
The personality really gives Monitor.
Yeah,
what I
they're
mean?
smart.
Like the way they'll actually interact with you with the feeding and stuff. And but it's more like Monitor brain in a gecko build.
Yeah, it's kind of like I don't even know, like a Pilbara or something. Like, it's that like just big Monitor brain, smart, very in tune to what you're doing, but just like this big.
In a tiny package.
Yeah, but
exactly.
but I guess I more so was saying like the actual body structure, because like a Pilbara just looks like a tiny Monitor.
Yeah,
you know what
fair
I
enough.
mean? Like
Yeah.
those just look like lizards, but they just have that, and I think that's really unique and cool. With those, I've always thought they're really unique little lizards.
Yeah, they're fun, man. I plan on building a grow tent for those guys, like do a big like walk-in type setup for them once I can find the space to do so. Because like I built these rooms, dude, and I was like, I'm never gonna fill these rooms. I'm gonna have so much space and so much fun. And then a year later, I'm bitching that I don't have room for anything. But that's how it goes, I guess.
Hey man, at least you got 2 rooms. I'm packed into here, and I'm chopping at the bit to get some things out to try and downsize a little bit.
Yeah, I feel that.
Yeah.
But other than that, dude, like leg wise, I mean, I have the Oidura Manilis.
I've been tempted by those two, just from what Gron's produced, and we had someone else in our friend group that was keeping some too. I don't remember who it was, but
I don't remember.
Wasn't Pain Shab?
I don't think so. Might have been Valentine. I don't know, but I know Gron was producing some on a pretty regular basis, it seemed like, and then maybe it was Burke had some.
I think it was. Yeah, I think he had some.
Yeah.
I tried to pair them last year, but they didn't do anything. I don't know because you got to cool them.
Oh, do you?
And all that stuff. So I don't know if I didn't get them cold enough, long enough, or what. But I just have a pair of those guys, and they're cool little Australian geckos. Stay small. Yeah. And I put them in that. They're still in that 3-foot BlackBox. I did like the red rock background and stuff on, nice. So they're fun to watch.
Yeah.
Shit. What else do I have? We got so Christy, my girlfriend, got into geckos also, obviously. So we have like gargoyles and crested geckos and a lychee and all that all that stuff too. And then I have some Cerdodactylus, well, just a male giant bento gecko.
Still got the cat geckos?
Yeah, so I have a trio of Dorsalis, and then I have a lone male Felinus currently. I kind of got out of the. I wasn't having success with the Felinus, man. They just wouldn't. They wouldn't do shit for me. I don't know what the issue was.
Did you ever have success with the eggs that you got, or did those end up?
Oh, dude, that's a whole fucking. We could do a whole podcast on my perils.
Yeah.
So like, I'm getting eggs consistently now, which is nice.
Yeah.
It's just hatching them, dude. They just don't hatch. They just mold out after like they'll be 10 days from hatching and they'll just mold out and die. It's just like, oh, it's
have you ever cut one open to see if they're actually like fertilized?
So I posted in the group actually. When I got back from vacation a few weeks back, I had one egg left and it was due to hatch like the day I got back. So I go downstairs, I look at the egg, it's just completely molded to shit, right? So I was like, fuck it. I'm going to cut it open and see if there's even a baby inside of this thing or not. So I cut it open and he sticks his head out of the egg. And I was like, oh shit. And I like started yelling to my girlfriend. I was like, yo, we fucking did it. We hatched the baby. And then like 2 days later, it died in the egg. And I was like, God damn it, dude.
Oh, like never made it.
It never made it out. It just stuck its head out. I don't think it was ready to come out yet. Because I pulled it out after it died and I looked at it and it was fully formed, but like the color was still kind of off.
Yeah.
But the egg looked like it was completely bad. So I was like, there's no, it's kind of a lose-lose anyway. So
have you tried different substrates as far as for the mold issue? Like, is there
dude, I've tried
anything that makes sense in your mind as far as why it happens?
Well, I've done a lot of the cat gecko breeders that are like doing it consistently use the Pangea, like the red like clay.
Yeah, that aquatic plant soil that I was using for a long time.
Yeah, so I tried that. Nothing. They molded out. I've tried vermiculite. They molded. I tried vermiculite with sphagnum moss on top because sphagnum moss is supposed to be like, mold.
Antimicrobial.
Yeah, antimicrobial. Molded. They went bad.
That's weird.
So the one that hatched, I'll say, quote unquote, was on perlite and vermiculite, or perlite and sphagnum moss. So that's what I have another clutch incubating. That's what they're on. That's all I'm using from now on because that's how I've gotten the furthest. So we'll see what happens. But
what about, you ever tried peat moss?
I haven't.
I
never even thought about that actually.
I would try that because it's also antimicrobial, but it's just dirt,
Mm-hmm.
I think it's more acidic too, so it might be.
Yeah,
I might have to give that a go because I'm getting eggs consistently from this pair, but it's just, and the people I talk to that are trying to breed who haven't had success yet, they're having the same issue of just getting them to hatch. So
there's got to be like, I don't know. Have you tried to reach out to anybody that's like interacted with them in the wild at all?
In the wild, no. But I've messaged like Evolver Reptile. She produces a shit ton every year. So I've like picked her brain and she gives me like all the information and it's exactly what I'm doing. So it's like temperatures are on par, like
water quality. Could it be?
No, because I have a whole RO system in there that I use.
Okay.
Like I did it legit. Like I was like, I'm getting these eggs to hatch, and it just hasn't happened.
So I've always wondered about like actually burying eggs.
Yeah,
like especially like colubrids. If you did something, because I assume the geckos are probably burying them.
Yeah.
Maybe try the peat moss and then actually bury the egg. Maybe just leave like the little itty bitty top of it, but actually cover it, and maybe that'll help with the mold thing.
I thought about just leaving them in the enclosure too and seeing what happens.
Yeah,
but I get too nervous, man.
Yeah, but I guess my thought process, because I'm the same way, I get paranoid, but my thought process is whatever you're doing, not that it's your fault, but whatever's going on now ain't working.
Yeah.
And if you're probably going to lose the eggs anyways,
Yeah.
give it a shot. It's one of those things. Maybe mama knows best and wants to stick them in there.
Yeah, it's true.
Sean Porter wanted to see the geckos
Oh,
we're
yeah.
talking about.
So these are the Felinas. So I have one male. Actually, that male there is. I sent that male and my adult pair to Jack Thompson. Because obviously, if anybody can do it, it's him.
That dude's freaking nuts with his gecko.
Yeah. So there's a dorsalis right there. Yeah, that's the adult female.
They're so small.
Yeah, dude. Like that's an adult male. Like they're tiny.
They're so beautiful, man. Like
They are. They're gorgeous.
They're honestly some of my favorite geckos, just like because they look so unique. With the tails and just the body structure. It's almost like a dachshund in a gecko body.
Yeah. They're the cooler crested gecko, man. They're
honestly.
No heat, room temp. As long as you use RO water and you are very, very slim on the supplements, they do great.
Nice. So they can be like over calcified, like you can do too much supplement on those.
Yeah, so they'll produce like hard like calcium stones.
No.
And if you give them too much supplements and that stone gets too big, they can't pass it and they can actually die from it.
Jeez.
Yeah.
Man,
they're fun though, man. I love them.
Yeah.
So I'm to the point now where I'm just enjoying keeping them, and if the eggs hatch, they hatch. If they don't, it is what it is. They're just fun geckos to have.
I'm kind of getting to that point with some stuff, like Nerodia specifically. I love my Nerodia so much, but I've gotten to the point now to where like I kind of just like having them. I don't really have any desire to breed them. I can't breed bandids anyways here. They're not on the keep list because nobody really keeps them. But I can have them. I can keep them legally. I just can't breed or sell.
Yeah.
And,
you can under a certain size on waters, right?
Not on water snakes. They're
really?
They're not on the list because they're not a snake that people keep. So they just didn't make the list. It's not like it's an endangered thing. It's just they didn't put them on there. So, so I kind of just I kind of enjoy keeping them. I could breed Clark Eye because they're not native. But even then, I'm like, dude, I've had so many problems with water snakes and I don't know. I just kind of like keeping them by themselves and letting them do their thing, and I'm happy with that. So I feel you on that front. Stuff that you're balls to the wall for a little while, then you had some problems. You're like, I kind of just like having them.
Yeah. Well, it's also like especially a few years ago, it was my mindset was if I'm not gonna breed it, there's no reason to keep it. Like I was in that mindset for a while.
Yeah.
And then I got to the point where I was just like, the reason like I enjoy all of this is to keep the animal and to watch it do what it does.
Right.
Like producing them is just kind of a byproduct of that, So it's not really a focus anymore, and it's made it a lot more enjoyable.
Yeah, I'm trying to get back to that thought process of like you don't have to breed
really
everything.
Tough.
Yeah, and that's
hard to break that too.
Yeah, it is, man.
Like this pink intergrade rat snake I have that everybody loves. It's from a specific county in Florida, or it's from what is it, Lake City? It's Columbia County, but Lake City. And for so long I was like, man, I need a male. Now I'm just kind of like, if one comes along, cool. If not, I just have a really badass snake that's I'm okay with just having because she's gorgeous and and that's okay. You don't have to breed everything. It's one of those things.
Just get to a point to where you're in that mindset so long that to not do it doesn't make sense.
And I think it's
like why are we doing it if we're not going to breed it? Like why?
Yeah,
right. And I think it's also like because everybody's limited on space. Let's be honest. So I think a lot of us are like, oh, why am I going to use this space if I'm not going to breed it?
Yeah.
But that's you can spare a cage. You know, it's okay. Like, I don't know, man. It's I've been thinking about that a lot lately, and I've kind of just gotten to where I'm like, okay with just having one, if so be it.
Yeah, I got to the point where I was like getting down on myself so much. I was like, well, if I'm not breeding them, or if they're not breeding properly for me, then I'm obviously not keeping them well. And then I was like, well, if I'm not keeping them well, then why am I keeping them?
Right.
And I was just going down that rabbit hole, and it was not good. That's a big reason why I got rid of so much shit. And I was just like, well, I'm obviously not keeping them great anyway, so why have them? And then, I regret getting rid of a lot of stuff, but
yeah,
it is what it is.
For sure. That's kind of like where I'm at, like with rhinos. Like, I think rhinos are really cool. So I think one day I would like to just have one.
Same, dude. I want one
and
so bad.
Just be okay with a cool pet, you know.
You can be on the Smitty's Rhino Missionary Program.
He's talking to you, Brenden, not me.
I know he is.
I'm not getting one.
Dude, I want to do just a big display. Like, as soon as you walk into my gecko room, I just want big rhino cage.
Dude, I
right
want
in the
one
middle.
right when you walk into my house.
Yeah.
That would honestly be dope.
Like, you get a really decent size, like, BlackBox setup, decked out live plants and everything. Like, you try to go and make it look like Vietnam or something, like, it's gonna be on point. Like, it's gonna be sharp.
And I feel like they're one of those species that would do very well in a bioactive setup.
Oh, yeah.
Because I don't think they like rats, like yellow rats, eastern rats, whatever. Like, they shit a ton and they're very destructive. Like, they're just not going to do that great in a bioactive system. But something like a rhino it's a colubrid, but it doesn't seem like they shit like a colubrid.
Yeah.
Does, like, at least
they definitely aren't as destructive. That's for sure.
Right.
Like, I never walk in and see a water bowl flipped over that I had just filled, or like the plants are just absolutely annihilated. Like,
right.
They're actually very easy on, and I've never really put any thought into it or thought about it, but they are very easy on their cages.
Yeah.
When it comes to that.
I'm just going off of what I see whenever I go into your room. I'm like, the rhino enclosures are always just like put together. Everybody else is destroyed, you know, because like keeping pits and stuff here, dude, like,
oh yeah,
it's always a mess.
It's never going to be where you want it.
Yeah, between shit being everywhere and water bowls spilled and aspen in the water dishes, and it's a freaking nightmare, man. But
it's like the lychee I have. She loves shitting down the front door every day.
Oh God!
Just a nice, nasty, big streak right down the middle of the door. It's just like I just cleaned this last night. What are we doing?
Dominance. I mean, part of me wonders if it's similar to like with like the chondros. It's the same thing. I just went and did like complete substrate changes on pretty much everything that was on aspen and put fresh aspen in. Like, went and cleaned chondros while I was at it, put new puppy pads down. Like, next day I walk in and they've already shit brand new puppy pad. And I feel, I'm almost positive they do it on purpose at this point. Like, they do it because they need to have
that smell. And that's honestly why I switched to all loose bedding now, because you can still spot clean, but it's still going to have some smell that smells like them, because same thing happens whenever I do a brand new bedding change. They immediately shit on something in there, you know? So I like the spot clean thing. You know, a lot of people are like, oh, that's not perfectly sanitary, but I'm not the kind of guy that's like, all snakes need to be kept sterile. I think that can do more harm than good, in my opinion. So I'm a big proponent of spot cleans and keeping some of that smell in there.
Leeches would do something like that too.
Yeah, because leeches are extremely territorial animals.
Dude, she's getting mean too. I'm just like, God, no. My girlfriend went to grab her. It was just a few weeks ago, and she went in at night, which obviously you don't want to do anyway. And like, she went to reach to grab her, and the leechie just like moved her head real quick toward her and like kind of snapped her jaw, and she's like, "Nope, I'm out." It's like, dude, she will destroy your finger.
Dude, that's one gecko I would not want to get chomped on by, dude. Like, those things
they'll tear you up, dude.
Yeah.
And she's not even that big yet, and she will annihilate you if you let her.
Nah, man. Those things are so cool, but
they're
whew.
That's another thing, though, is like I like them, yes, but I kind of just like having the one, you know.
Yeah. Dude, I've heard breeding those things can be a freaking nightmare.
Yeah, because they're like pair bonds. So
they have to bond, and like I know Chris has talked about like he's had some that killed each other.
Yeah,
like
man.
I'm like, dude, that would just stress me out too much, man. Like I could not. But
also they can have a big gecko.
Yeah, you could just have a big
they're
gecko.
cool.
And...
I'm not talking smack. They're cool.
No, I think they're awesome.
It's like they're like what's the best way to put it? They're like the IPAs of the reptile world. Everyone will tell you how great they are and how awesome they are.
No, they're
no one actually enjoys them.
They're the Guinness of the reptile world, because let's be real, that they're heavy hitters. Like IPAs or whatever, but a Guinness takes a man to drink Guinness. Come on now. But Brenden, you've gotten into gargoyles recently.
Yeah, man.
And
how awesome are they?
They're so much fun.
I want gargoyles so bad.
Just get a pair.
But
I have some together. I'll send you some babies.
Dude, I
never could get mine to go. I had like at least I think I had 2.2 at a point, and I'd put them together, and I don't know. I had way more of a harder time with those obviously than cresteds, but cresteds I feel like you could do with your eyes.
Yeah,
but
yeah,
I don't know.
We'll see what happens. I know I put them together and they were locked up pretty much almost instantly. So we'll see what happens. I don't know. I've never bred them before, so
I just think they're so freaking cool, man. Like,
and that male I just got from Jack, dude, is so pretty. He's insane.
What are you? So me, when it comes to the gargs, I really like the like black and white stuff.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm not big on the reds and shit.
Have you like had a red in your hand?
You haven't, because if you did, you'd be like, reds are awesome.
I'm not saying they're not. I'm saying my personal preference are the black and white.
I have a red
really
male
white ones.
That you'd love.
He's
sure. Insane. But no, I have a black and white pair together currently, and they're like cookies and cream black. They're insane. They're so pretty.
Because see, I'm not like that. Like with cresteds, I'm not big on like the really black and white cresteds. But for some reason, the gargoyles, man, like I don't know what it is about those. When I was in Texas, we had a couple of them, and man, I just loved those freaking things, man.
They're fun.
But I just know me. And I know I would get it and love it. And then I'd be like, damn, I hate feeding this thing every 2 days. Like, I don't know, man. I know it would be really cool for a little while, but then I'd get tired of feeding it every couple of days.
I mean, you don't have to feed them.
I didn't. They're not.
I feed them like twice a week.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And they're chunky, fat, happy.
Damn. Do you feed them any bugs, or is it just strictly like?
I'll throw in some crickets every now and then that they can chase around, but it's mostly just the rapashi.
Yeah.
The watermelon specifically, because they're bougie and they don't fucking eat anything else.
They're just so neat, man. Just like the way they act, because like I feel like they don't jump like a crested gecko will.
Oh, yes, they do.
Oh, really?
Mine do.
Damn, I've seen a lot of like any of the ones I used to interact with, like they would jump. But like crested geckos, I feel like just jump. You know. But gargs will be like, let me try and reach out and grab it first, and then I'll jump if I have to. Like,
they'll kind of like they'll hesitate for a second, so they'll like do one of these, and then they'll go. Cresteds are just like jumping everywhere.
Don't know where I'm going, but I'm going there.
I'm going somewhere. It's so funny the way cresteds jump too, because it's like a full spread, baby.
They are grace.
They're funny, man. It was fun.
Every now and then I do miss the gargs more than I miss the cresteds, but every now and then I'm like, man, I should get another I should get a nice pair of cresteds and just but
dude, I'll still never forget when I first met Smitty. He had all kinds of crested geckos, and I was like, this friggin' nerd. I don't want to be friends with him. But he had some eggs, and he was like, yeah, this one's due to hatch any day now, or any time. And he brings it out, and he just did like a little a little tickle on it. I was like, "What are you doing?" He goes, "I'm tickling the egg. It'll help it hatch." And I'm like, "Okay, shut the fuck up. That's stupid." Literally that night, he sends me a picture with a little baby popped out. And was like, "I told you, bitch."
Told you.
Like, God damn.
There's something to it. I don't know what. I haven't done it with any snake eggs, but
yeah,
I'm nervous to try it with anything other than like rat snakes, like at least bear eye and corns. Like Chance and I feel like if you do that and they're close to hatching, they'll just come screaming out the egg and like cord and all. Bolt.
That's the other thing I find weird about baby cresteds is the way they just like fucking shoot out of the egg, and it's like I'm out. Like, but the egg with snakes, it's like I'm gonna chill for like 3 days and maybe I'll come out. Like, you know, but cresteds, they're like, pow, like right on out. Like, golly, dude, freaking psychopaths.
Yeah, I don't know if we're gonna breed any cresteds or not. We have a lone male who is, dude, he is the craziest, most psycho gecko
I had a couple of those
ever had in my life, dude.
Is he a runner?
You can't touch him.
Yeah. I had a couple like that, dude, and I never it was so irritating because, of course, they were some of the first ones to drop their tails.
Yep.
And then any other interaction I had with them, I had one female in particular that was terrible. Like, you even looked at her wrong, and she just spazzed the fuck out. And like, you had the tub open, she took off, like jumping every chance they get. Just I was not a fan. Of course, that was one of the nicest like tricolors I had. And
that's how this male is. He's so pretty, and he was cheap. Yeah. And I was like, why is this gecko so cheap? And then I realized why. Because I got him home. I opened the box. I got the jelly out. And as soon as I cracked the deli, dude, he was out in the house, just fucking gone. And I was like, what the fuck is going on, man?
Yeah. Do you sometimes I wonder if it's a male, do you think he just like wants to get laid?
I don't know, dude, but he needs to chill out a little bit.
Yeah, that one I had never did. Like, it didn't seem to matter how much time you spent handling her. It was like she did not care. She was just so flighty, and she had always been that way, even when she was a neonate.
Yeah,
she was just all over the place. And we just
let him chill.
I would enjoy cresteds again if there weren't so many people breeding them.
Yeah, they're everywhere.
I feel like that was a big part of why I just got out of those, was like wanting to go back to snakes, but then also it's like these are only going to get harder and harder to sell because the availability is just insane.
Yeah.
Like it gets to a point where if you really want to move cresteds, like you got to produce like really like top tier. Like the random like Petco got a pair, put them together, I'm going to sell babies. Like, forget it. Like those are.
Yeah, that's how leopard geckos are too.
Feeders. Yeah.
You got to have really high end shit, and you got to like be on top of like constantly posting them to sell them, or they're just not going to move.
Damn.
That's why I don't produce very many of them, because I don't want to be stuck with 100 baby leopard geckos and be like, well, no one's buying, so what am I going to do with them now? You know, luckily I've been able to sell them every year so far, but it takes some work, man.
Yeah. Yeah, that's kind of where I'm at with some of the rat snake stuff, is like, you know, the people who like what I keep really like it.
Yeah.
The people who are like, man, really don't give a shit. Like, you know, so it's like I'll always produce a few every year, but I'm like, maybe let's not produce, you know, a couple hundred of these things, because
the goal is to get all your friends into them. So like I've gotten Billy into leopard geckos now, right? So now I just send him babies periodically.
You know, if you have stripes, he's got them.
Yep.
Billy's got everything, dude. I don't
know how he does it, man.
I need to go visit him again and see his stuff now, because my God, that dude's all over the place. He's killing it though, man.
He is. I just got to hang out with him at Tinley, and it was fun.
Oh yeah.
I don't get to see him very often, obviously. Oh, Tinley's always a blast, dude.
So is March definitely a lot more not high key? Everybody says October's like
October's the one to go
to. The one to go to. Okay.
I mean, dude, March it's packed. Like, it's not like it's slow by any means, but October, it's butts to nuts everywhere. Like,
do you know why that is?
I don't know.
Because babies, like baby
I
season,
guess,
you're on the back half of the year
That's true.
with a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
I feel
It's
like they really timed that show perfectly. Because, like, I guess me, because I don't artificially cool my stuff, like, I go off of my garage. When it gets hot, that's when I pull them,
Yeah.
and so a lot of people are getting eggs when I'm pulling my stuff out. So it's like for some people, an August, September show is great, but I literally just got 2 clutches of rat snakes a couple weeks ago.
Yeah.
Like last week. And so it's like my shit won't even be ready for Daytona, dude. Like,
Right.
So I feel like that October is like perfect month for everybody to bring all their stuff, and
It's a hell of a show. It's so much fun.
is it ever snowing like during the October show? Is it getting cold there by then?
It has a couple times I've been, but normally it's just like it's just getting to where it's starting to really cool down. So it's cold. It's not like frigid for the most part.
Right.
But it is up by Chicago, so it's always a crapshoot whether or not it's going to be snowing.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I'm curious, as far as leopard geckos go and sort of choosing projects there, I'd have to imagine, I mean, not to the same level, but it has to be in a similar vein to ball pythons, where you kind of have to breed the morphs and stuff you're into the most, because if you're trying to throw darts at the board of popularity, you're forever going to be aiming for a different spot.
Yeah, you definitely can't.
How do you navigate that?
I'm breeding stuff that I like looking at. Like I'm very similar to Billy in that aspect. If it has a stripe, then I'm probably gonna have it. So I've noticed, so this is my 3rd season, like the bold stripe stuff, like all the pretty stripes sell really well, obviously, because they're gorgeous. So my main focus are those, and like the clowns everybody's into, and stuff like that. But I try to breed stuff that I like, but I also know is going to sell relatively well. So it's just like trying to balance, but it is very much like the ball python thing. Like I posted one in a group chat the other day, and I was like typing out what it was, and I was like, dude, I feel like I'm breeding ball pythons because the name of it's like a mile long with all the genetics and shit. It's like, Jesus. They're fun though. They're super easy to breed. They breed like roaches. It's kind of insane.
I will always have such a soft spot for leopard geckos. That was the first reptile I ever kept as a very small child. And it's kind of depressing. I haven't had one since I was a kid, but at the same time,
I miss Uromastyx.
Yeah.
It was one of the first lizards. The first lizard I ever had was Uromastyx.
Really?
Yeah. Got it at a flea market. His name was Douglas. It was the ugliest Uromastyx you'll ever see in your life, but damn it, I love that lizard.
Douglas from the flea market, baby.
Yep.
Let's go.
That's in South Carolina, son.
It's so funny.
Yeah, that does not surprise me at all. Yeah, that Uromastyx are one of the ones like I've always been like, yeah, those are cool. But
super cool. You just have
to
you're keeping them on the surface of the fucking sun.
I would never keep one. Like they just don't do it for me. I always thought they're cool. They're just cool over there, Yeah. Like, but zero desire to ever have one for some reason. I don't know why.
You gotta get one of them giant Egyptians, dude.
Yeah, that would be pretty cool.
Yeah.
It's like a freaking dog.
Yeah, those things are cool, man. It is weird how like with those, because like I don't know, tell me if I'm wrong, Smitty, but everybody says that like you don't give them water; they get all the water they need from the vegetables they get fed. That blows my mind. Like it's just weird. I don't know, but So, Brenden, what would you say is like your main focus right now? Is it the Polycris?
Oh, 100%. It's
Yeah.
like Polycris, cat geckos, and then I'm waiting for this Brettles pair to get up size, dude. I'm just like slowly, they're growing. I'm trying to grow them slow. At the same time, I want to pair them so bad, man.
Is that the bend frame blacks?
Oh yes,
boy.
And those are like older breeders too. Those are normally like
those are from his first clutch.
Yeah.
The male is from his first clutch. The female is from the second, I believe.
Okay.
She was tiny when I got her, dude. She has been a pain in the fucking ass.
I'm pretty sure those are like 5-6-year-old.
Yeah, man.
They take a while to get there.
I think the male is a 21, 22, and the female's a 22, 23 or something.
Yeah.
So they're still, but the female, she's just now getting, so when I went to Daytona, it's been like 3 years ago now or whatever it was. I was talking to Ben and I was just kind of bullshitting with him. I was like, yo, send me, when I get home, I'll send you my address. Just send me a pair of those Brettles because I really want some. And he hasn't gotten rid of any of them ever. And he's like, all right, I'll do that. And I was like, okay, yeah, sure, whatever. So I forgot about it. I get home and he messaged me. He's like, yo, do you still want some of these Brettles? And I was like, yeah, I do. And I still thought he was pulling my leg. And then he's like, send me that male in pin red you have, and I'll send you a pair. And I was like, dude, I'm boxing him up right now. Like,
he's already on
his way. Yeah, he's already there. And he sent me this pair, dude, and they're absolutely insane. Like, I've tried to get their colors on pictures and video, and it just doesn't. You just can't.
Yeah, dude.
How many years did I say how cool would it be to have an all black Brettles and then frame manage like they happen? And I'm like, oh my god, it's real.
Well, this is just the start of that project, though, man.
You should have him send you some pictures of some of his animals, dude. They will blow your mind.
Yeah,
because he doesn't post them anywhere ever.
Yeah,
but he has some. I'm talking midnight black Brettles already.
Yeah.
They're
insane.
Ben's I love Ben to death. He's such a cool dude, but he's
I haven't talked to him in a while.
Yeah, he's so low key about everything, man. Like his reptile room is freaking insane,
and his animals are wild.
Yeah,
dude.
his
he
animals
has such nice
incredible.
stuff.
And he's like one of those guys that's like, yeah, I don't really care about selling. Like, he held on to, he hatched out some pop wins. And dude, he held on to all of them for like 3 years. Didn't sell a single one until one day he was like, oh, I think I might need to sell a few of these things. And I was like, you haven't?
Yeah, it's crazy, man.
Jeez,
and like he builds all his own cages and like he just does everything in house.
And it's not like one of those like, oh, he threw together some plywood and made a cage. That dude builds the shit out of his stuff, like racks, cages. Like he does a really, really good job.
Yeah,
like I love Ben.
Ben's awesome.
He came out herping with me several years ago now.
Yeah, it's been a while.
That dude was
so quick, man.
Yeah, dude. Life's weird like that.
Especially Daytona's now, dude. I feel like August, like we blink and it's here again. It's like, oh my god.
Yeah, I was thinking the other day, I was like, fuck, like Daytona's in like
almost a month.
Yeah.
A little over a month away.
A little over a month
now.
Are you going this year?
No, I can't make it. Next year.
No.
We're already saving for next year.
You tease me every year because, like the last
we
few years,
talked about this earlier.
Yeah, me and Brenden have been talking, but every year he teases and he's like, "Yeah, I'm coming this year," because he did the same thing last year. Yeah, I'm gonna come. No,
well, I had a baby last year. So
well, that's
not an excuse.
That's fair, but
it's my excuse.
And then this year, you're like, all right, I'm coming. I was like, fuck yeah, Brendan's coming.
I know.
Like,
and then never mind. Bought a new vehicle and took a vacation. And it sucks because it's like, it's Daytona in August.
And
then it's Tinley. And then it's the St. Louis NARBC show in November.
Yeah.
So it's like back to back to back. And it's just, it's tough financially.
Yeah, no. How
But
far? Go ahead.
What? How far? What am I away?
How far are you from Tinley?
Like a 3.5 hour drive.
Oh, okay, that's like Daytona for us. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a 3 hour flight to Daytona for me.
Yeah, dude, that's crazy. Yeah, it's all we always laugh like we're closer to Daytona than a lot of people are that live in Florida.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Like, and we got to cross 2 states to get over there.
Yeah, but my girlfriend only wants to ride away on the beach, so we're definitely gonna make it at some point.
Yeah, dude.
And we're kind of waiting until the baby's a
with the
little bit
jellyfish.
older. Dude, I'll never go in the ocean again after that. Never.
Oh, were you one of the people that got stung
Dude,
when everybody was getting stung?
I got nailed. I got hit so hard that my legs stopped working.
Oh shit!
I swear. It like wrapped around the side of my knee and
Jesus.
fucking zapped me good, dude. I thought it was going down.
Dude, that's
crawling out of the water like Jesse and Family Guy. The old man's dog.
That's so funny, dude, because like I grew up on the water. We live on the ocean, you know. I've been in the ocean so many times, and I've never been stung by a
I've never been
jellyfish.
hit by one either. My mom has scars on her leg from one that just pretty much wrapped around her calf, you know, years and years and years ago. And
that was my
never had
first time in the ocean ever in my life.
It's the last.
Yeah.
Never going back.
Never again. Never again.
Crazy. I still remember. So that Daytona you came was the first one for me coming back. Like when I was gone for a while, and I didn't go
saving Silverman phase.
Yeah, I didn't go at all the year before, and then the year before that, I did a rocket run. I went there and back the same day because I just had to give people some snakes. But that was my first one back, and you were the first person I saw going up to the hotel. You're walking across the street. I was like, Brenden! And you're like, so dead, you're dude. So tired. You're like, oh. That was funny.
Because our flight was so early, I didn't sleep the night before like an idiot. And then we had to drive an hour and a half from the airport to like, it was a whole thing. Like it was like airport to this shitty little place where we rented the car. And it was like an hour drive. And I was just dead.
Yeah. Dude. That's, it's a rough one. That's why, like, dude, I tell everybody, I'm like, Daytona's my vacation. Like last year, people tried to get me to go herp and shit, and I was like, nah, I'm good. Like I'm just gonna chill at the hotel. Don't want to go anywhere. I'm here to relax. And damn it, that's always the plan. Like I'm there.
I was there for a week last time I was there. Like,
oh, that's right.
Like I went to Billy's, I went to Skylar's. Like I tried to make a whole trip out of it.
Hell yeah, man.
Yeah, it was fun.
We're doing
it back one of these days.
We're doing a little bit of a convoy this year. I think Gabe and Jack are coming down here the night before, and then we're all leaving Thursday. I'm going to try to not take snakes with me to Daytona this year. And
it's different if you can time it to like if you're going down on Thursday.
Yeah, but
you're adding time to like when you're having the snakes with you and stuff.
Right. That's why, like, this year, the plan is to go. We're going to leave early Thursday to go, and we're going to hit the crocodile farm beforehand and then go to Daytona. So I really don't want to bring any snakes because I don't think Gabe or Jack have ever been to the crocodile farm. Really? I know at least one of them hasn't.
St. Augustine?
Yeah. So they're really excited for that, and I definitely don't want to be like, oh, I'm bringing snakes. Sorry.
Yeah.
So
Jack hasn't been to the crocodile farm.
Jack might have.
I feel like he had to have been.
There's no way Jack hasn't been to the crocodile farm.
Yeah, maybe it's Gabe that hasn't been. But so we're gonna do that, and we're gonna have a good time. It's gonna be nice and cheap. You know, there's a few of us splitting a room, and
yeah, that's the way to do it.
Yeah. Because last year it was just me and Gabe, and it's obviously still affordable. You know, it's not bad, but dude, like me and Jack were talking, and it was like, dude, like all we do is sleep in the room,
right?
Like,
why? Yeah.
Why get your own or split it with one other person? Get 3, 4, 5 dudes. Tell everybody to bring an air mattress or cuddle up, and we'll be all right. You know,
I'm rooming with Danielle and Becca again, and we're not getting the the pimp suite again. That's for sure. But because Danny was like, we're not like, it was cool and all, but there's no point because I was like, you're doing a bed has one job. Like it doesn't have to be fancy as long as it's like semi comfortable.
You sleep there, you keep animals in there, and you poop there.
Pretty much.
And that's about it. Like you're not, there was one time like I lost everybody. Like Jack and Gabe were out herping with Preston, and then a bunch of people went and got food and didn't tell me. So I found myself in my hotel room being like, where the fuck is everybody, dude? Like, Jesus.
Just by himself sitting there, no pants on. Where'd everybody go?
That's a normal day. But yeah, dude.
Because we're going down Thursday. I think Danielle mentioned working a half day, and then I'm gonna take that day off because Joe Rosa's flying into Savannah, so I'm gonna jet down there that morning, pick up Rosa, and then by the time I get back into town from there, it'll be about time that we'll load up and just drive down to Daytona from there. So
I still think it's so funny that like as many times you and I have been Daytona together, we've never stayed in the same room. We've ridden down a couple times together, but Smitty and I have never roomed together. There's one year you were supposed to, then you bailed on me and Ben.
There's just too much sexual tension. I can't.
No, you didn't want to be in the far away tower, and Danielle said you could stay with them, so you started doing that, which is fine.
In my defense, after my experience of being intoxicated and lost, it's probably best that I'm not in the far tower,
dude.
That place is scary when you're drunk and lost.
There's only been like one time that like I never got lost, but there was one time I was walking to the room myself at like 4:00 in the morning, and I got down that hallway and I was like, "This is a horror movie waiting to happen."
I did the same thing. I was like, "Oh my god!"
It's a little eerie. Like
the ghosts of Floridians that OD'd on cocaine.
Right. It was funny. It was 2 years in a row. I ended up being in a room right next to somebody that we knew. Like 1 year, we actually shared a door with Jeff and Kendra. That was 2 years ago. And then last year, Sky got a room last minute and just so happened to be right next to me and Gabe. We didn't have like the rooms that shared the door, but he was, literally the room over from us. And I was like, man, this is so cool every time. But I love it, man. It's my favorite weekend of every year. Got it down to a science now. You take off Thursday, get prepped, leave Sunday.
I'm taking Monday off again.
Take off work Monday. Recover.
It's a game changer. I don't know why I waited so long to start doing that.
I tried to tell you, man.
Oh my god, I did it. I did it last year for sure, and I was like,
I think last year was the first time you did.
It might have been because I now have that job that gives me time off.
Yeah, I mean, I think the biggest reason was being at the cigar shop, and Raj always gave you shit anytime you weren't like at work.
This is amazing. Like I don't have to rush back home. I don't have to worry about like getting home late and having to wake up and go to work and still feeling like out of it just because the social batteries, completely drained by the end of that weekend. And having that Monday's never not happening again.
Yeah.
So. Yeah, that's a way to do it.
I'd imagine like if we were having to travel way more, like it would be obvious. Like if we were having to fly and stuff and make the trip like Rosa and Jeff and Kendra have, like I'd most definitely be taking that Monday off. But with it being so close, I was like, yeah, it'll be fine. But then every year I would regret not taking that Monday off because Jake would be like, man, I'm off today and it's awesome. Like
yep.
Why didn't I do that? And I did that I repeated that whole cycle like 3 times in a row.
I told you every
last year.
single year.
Like, this is the way to do it.
I do the same thing for Tinley. I always take at least the Friday, Monday, always.
Yeah, you gotta have that recovery day, man.
Yeah.
Like, it's rough. But this year's gonna be pretty different. I'm definitely not buying anything. Everybody tells me I'm full of shit, but I swear to God, I'm not. This year, I'm not buying anything, and I'm gonna try to not yell so much. Anytime I start drinking, I start talking real loud, and so we're gonna try and tone that back a little bit this year.
I'm planning to bring some moonshine.
Are you actually gonna drink with us this year, Smitty?
I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah, you just said you were bringing some moonshine. Now
I mean,
you're
I got to get
saying,
freaking plastered.
Yeah, he
I'm
didn't
not
say he was
saying-
bringing it for him. He just
I
said he's
didn't-
bringing it.
I didn't say you had to get plastered. Just like I've never had a drink with you at Daytona. The one year you got fucked up, I wasn't
Yeah,
there.
you weren't there. That's right.
I was so
Damn.
mad. And Smitty's like genuinely like probably the funniest intoxicated person I've ever met. Like without
problem-
question. Like
So it's not that I don't drink out of like the whole like straight edge thing or anything like that, but genuinely like with the diabetes type illness.
Yeah.
And then
there's limits.
if you've ever taken antidepressants,
Oh yeah.
That's a big reason why I don't drink.
You become a lightweight real quick. Like I'm at a
Yeah.
point now where it takes like very little for me to be feeling it, where I'm like, oh my God, like I had, 2 beers and I'm feeling kind of buzzed. Like
Yeah.
it's weird. So it's not that I don't want to drink. It's just mostly on the diabetic side. I'm like, this is really bad for you.
For sure.
I'll still drink a little bit here and there, but as far as like getting drunk, I'm a little scared of it, honestly. Like,
yeah, no,
from a health perspective, I'm like, I don't
know. And that's like a very real thing. That's why I'm not like, oh, I want to get plastered with you, but I'm like, at least have a beer with me at Daytona, man. Damn.
I mean, I say that, but then I was at my grandparents' house like 2 or 3 weekends ago with some of that moonshine, and I drank probably a third of that jar, and I told Katie, I was like, I can't drive. I was like, oh my God. And I was like, I'm feeling pretty fucking good right now.
Oh yeah.
That moonshine's good. Oh my God.
Is it like a flavored thing?
No, it's real, like legit.
Well, yeah, but is it like a certain flavor of something?
That one was blueberry.
Yeah.
Which I'm not typically a blueberry person, but that I've got some of the black raspberry here now, and I'm not big on that either, but that stuff's I got the connect for some legit good shine.
Well, don't give it to Keller because he'll drink half the jar.
I'm scared to give it to Keller because I feel like he's gonna turn into one of the fucking Monstars from Space Jam or something. Dude. I'm like, Jesus Christ.
Well, that's what happened to Sky. Sky brought some shine one year, and he's like, Keller, take a sip, but he drank half the jar. Sky was like, what the fuck?
Gonna start getting handsy.
Yeah, dude, Keller.
Get anything without alcohol.
I will give Keller credit where credit is due. That man will walk up with a beer cracked. Like that dude will drink, but that dude is up first thing in the morning and walking around Daytona like he didn't just piss himself the night before. Like,
yeah, man, it's impressive.
It really is. Like it's a skill.
Look, you don't get to black belt status overnight.
Yeah.
You got to break a lot of boards to get to that.
Hey, man. Well, Keller broke enough. He's there.
So the problem with this shine though is like it does not burn at all. Like you could literally chug that jar, and I'm not even exaggerating. Like you wouldn't feel a thing. Like it's
dangerous.
Oh my God, dude! It's
bad.
Because I'm like, when I was sipping it a couple weekends ago, I was like, yeah, this is really good. And then I got to a point where I like stood up and I was like, oh, fuck.
There it is. My problem is every year me and KJ go tit for tat on a bottle and usually finish it in a night or two. And that's when I get talking.
Good old Admiral Nelly.
Yeah, I might step it up this year. Do something a little nicer. But yeah, dude, I'm definitely not doing what we did last year and bringing a giant cooler full of beer for 3 different people. Literally,
it was more for like 20 different people because
everybody was drinking it, but Rosa and Pain Shop were like, "Hey, since you're driving, can you bring all the beer?" And I was like, "Yeah, I can. Yeah, sure, I can do that." And Pain Shop's like, "Okay, get 4 cases of Coors." And then the other dude was like, Rosa was like, yeah, grab like 4 cases of this and then something else that you want. And I was like, God damn, dude. So I ended up having to borrow this giant cooler my dad had left over from when he used to barbecue a lot.
When he used to drink.
No. He would put Boston butts in those to take to weddings and stuff. And then that thing ended up broken, like the handle on it snapped because it had 4,000 beers in it. And there wasn't a damn one left over.
I think it straight up had like 75 to 80 pounds of beer in it.
Yeah, like that thing was
heavy shit,
loaded, bro. And so that's the last time I do that. Like, bring your own beer, dude. I broke my dad's cooler. He was pissed, dude.
You should have just said it was Keller. Gave him his address. Be like, here's the guy. Here's who you send the bill to.
Yep.
No. But yeah,
my plan is to bring like 3 or 4 jars of that moonshine.
Nice.
So.
I'm gonna do my usual. Like, I got a big enough cooler with like wheels and a handle on it, so I'm gonna fill that up with beer and some liquor, and that'll be that. But it never lasts, so it's always gone by like Friday night.
Yeah, it doesn't survive the weekend. Everybody
just starts helping themselves. But sharing is caring, and I'm not gonna tell somebody no. So, except Keller, I'll tell Keller no.
He's not even going to want it anyways. He's taken care of. He's got his little fanny pack.
Dude, he always brings like a little mini cooler and he just goes and refills it. Like, dude.
Black belt status, dude.
Yeah, he's a master.
Are there any projects that you are planning to get into?
I mean, there's always... I have a very short list of things that I still want. Rhinos are very, very high on that list. I still, and as much as people tell me they suck and they're terrible to keep, I still really want Timors, man. I want them so bad. I just love them.
Preston had one that was like, it would freak out a little bit in the cage, but it was so chill. Like,
dude, I have a
really,
local
really
buddy,
nice.
Mike Bowser, who used to actually work at the St. Louis Zoo for a little while. He's got a pair of them, and his female is massive. Like, she's a big female. And he's like, you want to hold her? And I was like, is she typical, like, shit all over the place, Timor? Is she cool? She's like, just grab her. So like, I literally just opened the cage, picked her up, grabbed her. She was super chill, hanging out, and it's just like, dude, they're the prettiest snake. I don't care what anybody says.
They're
so pretty.
Insanely gorgeous. But I wouldn't care if somebody was like, oh, reach in and grab her. Fuck you. I'm not doing that. Like, I wouldn't trust that. I don't trust my carpet.
Like, hey, fuck it. Whatever.
I don't trust my carpets to do that, man. I don't think there's a snake in my collection I will just reach in and grab.
Oh, I was nervous. Don't get me wrong. I wasn't stoked about it, but I wasn't into a bitch about it either. No, they're high on the list, and then I want to get into more of the Cerdodactylus gecko. All those Indo geckos and all that shit. I'd like to get into some more of those. But other than that, dude, I'm pretty happy where I'm at least at the moment. Especially like space wise, I can only do so much anyway. But
it's always nice getting to a point where you're just like content. Like,
this is the first time I've ever been there, man.
Yeah.
It's a hard place to get to.
Yeah.
Especially now, like with your friend groups and the internet, and everyone's posting all the stuff they get, and it's like, not necessarily feeling like you have to keep up, but just like, you're seeing your friends get excited and hyped up about something, kind of makes you like, I want to fucking get it. Like, let's do it. So that's
I did that for a while. So it was like when I got into the carpets, I was like, well, I may as well get them all, if I'm gonna do it. So I had a pair of all of them basically, minus like diamonds and inlands, And it was like, should I have done this? Probably not, But yeah, I'm to the point now where like I'm over kind of. I don't know. For a while, I felt like I was getting stuff that I wanted, but some of that want was also to like. Be like, look what I have, it was like that kind of thing for a while.
Everybody else thinks this is cool.
Exactly. Right. It's just it was so unhealthy for me, man. It just it kind of ruined it for me for a while. So I'm finally to a point where I'm happy with what I have. I'm enjoying what I have. And I have like 2, 3, 4 species that if they pop up, I might grab. But other than that, dude, I'm chilling.
Yeah, I feel like I'm really close to being there. I need to move some stuff because like I'm just
what up with them fox snakes, son?
They're there. They're there. But I just like, I don't know, I'm getting a little overwhelmed with stuff, with the new job and being so much to do here. And it's just like, man, I really need to refocus. So some stuff is going to get rehomed. And I think once I do that, I'll be in a much better headspace with it, because it's getting to the point now where I'm like, fuck, I need to do waters. Here goes the next 4 hours of my day, and then it ends up getting put off, and I hate doing that. And so I'm just, I'm not saying I'm burnt out, but at the same time, like I'm getting there.
You're singed.
Yeah, and then I just had a really big loss. My adult female Janai rolled on me last week.
Oh,
so that was like a really like kick to the balls. Like, and it sucks because it was so like everything timed up so perfectly with her being gravid from when I started pairing and all this stuff. So I thought she was gravid. Turns out I'm 99% sure she was impacted.
Oh, fuck.
And she was swelling, and I was like, oh, she's got eggs. And by the time I knew she wasn't gravid and this was a problem, it was
too late.
It was too late. And I was hoping she would just kind of work herself out. But so she ended up rolling on me, which that was just kind of like a big, like, okay, I need to kind of like think about this and what I'm doing a little bit more. Cause man, I loved that snake. If y'all know me, I love Janai, and I got an adult pair last year from Tony D. I was super excited to, pair him up and stuff. And that was a swift kick to the nuts. And so I'm like, okay, I need to kind of rethink and refocus and maybe bring down some numbers. And
yeah, that'll do it to you, man.
Yeah, it was just kind of like all right, this sucks. Like,
I had a very similar situation with that Axanthic coastal I had, that big female I had for a while.
Yeah.
Just randomly one day went in and she's just dead. And I was like, dude, it just takes all of the wind out of your sails and shit like that happens, especially on an animal that you love that much.
Right.
Just like, dude, shit sucks.
Yeah, dude. And that's the other thing, like the more animals you have, the more you're going to experience the death, just because you get so many, and it's just like, they're not all going to be perfect all the time. Like there's so many reasons for animals to pass. And, whether it's, a lot of times it's not on the keeper. Obviously it does. Like in this scenario with the Janai, like it wasn't exactly anything I did, but I could have changed it. Like I could have saved her, but because of what I was doing and the breeding, I was like, everything times up. Like with literally, it was like she had a pre-lay shed, started swelling. I was just waiting for eggs, I was like, any day now, and then all of a sudden I'm like, this is taking a little long. And all of a sudden she's looking kind of weird. All of a sudden she's shitting everywhere. And I'm like, whoa, this isn't okay. And then she's dead. Like, so it was just, I don't know, man. It just kind of made me step back a little bit and be like, something's gotta give. So
that was a similar situation with that female conjure that I got the clutch of eggs from. It was the same thing where I thought she was gravid, and she had a shed, and I was like, oh, that's a prelay. And then like it kind of came and went, and I was like, nothing's happening. And then she was like refusing food still. So I was like, okay, something's up.
Right.
I'm just gonna keep waiting. And then same thing, like came home and she was done. And that definitely, as far as like demotivating, that did a pretty good job of it. So
I remember that one, man. You're broken up about that one. That sucked.
Yeah. And then, not having any more adult green trees to pair. Like I didn't have any other adult females. So I was like, great. Now I'm not going to produce chondros for another, 5 years.
Right.
Spoiler alert. It's longer than that, but
yeah. And that's the other thing. Like, cause I keep telling myself I'm going to breed Popwins again. Cause I've only got 4 now, but I've got my giant female Papaya. She's one of my favorite snakes. She's incredible. She's the the biggest snake I own. She's a giant yeah. She's still kicking. She's 13 now.
Damn.
She's a 2012, and I'm like, man, like I really want another clutch out of her, but the other part of me is like, am I going to do more harm than good? Like trying, like, do I just kind of have her and enjoy her and hope she lives for another 10 years, and, I've got her on more of a strict diet now and just trying to keep her happy and healthy. And she's doing so good, man. I'm like, I don't know. I just worry about her, man. Like, dude, the day she goes, whoo, it's going to be a bad day. It's going to be a bad day. But yeah, it's a part of it, and
yeah,
but it sucks, man. Like I said, you get up to so many animals, like you're gonna have some swift kicks. That's for sure.
Are you planning to get any more Felinus?
I don't know, man.
Like, is that one of those things where you're gonna keep trying it until you get it to work?
I'm kind of back and forth. So I was there for a while. It was like the same thing because a lot of the ones I was buying were like long-term captives or wild caught shit. And I was having a streak there, dude, where like they just kept dying on me out of nowhere. So like that was the same thing. It was like just kick the nut after kicking the nuts. And I was just like, fuck it. So then I was talking to Jack, and he was interested in getting them. So we did that trade. So I sent him my last adult pair. So I don't know. I have that male. I might get a female and just keep like a pair, maybe two around just to see what happens. But other than that, dude, I don't know. They're just they hate me, man. I don't know what the fuck the issue is. But I'm definitely I'll have them. Like, I'm definitely more focused on the dorsalis these days. But I don't know. We'll see.
Sometimes I wonder how much your general room like affects snakes. Like, you can do all you want to their environment, like in the cage, but at the end of the day, sometimes stuff just doesn't jive in the room, and I don't know. I wonder if like lizards are a little bit more honed in on some of that stuff.
I've been thinking about that a lot lately, and it's gotta play some sort of role, right? You would think, because like I kind of screwed up when I built these rooms. I insulated them too well, I think.
Oh, shit.
Because it's my basement, so it was concrete walls. So I wanted them to, keep the rooms as temperature controlled as I could. But I think I insulated them so well that like airflow was kind of an issue. So I don't know if that's playing a role in the issue. I don't know, man. I lay in bed at night just thinking like, should I try this? What if I try this? This ain't working. Right. Let me try this, So it's just but that's the fun of it too, is because like once I finally hatch them out, dude, it's gonna be so insane. But it's just the fucking climbing the mountain to get there is not fun.
Yeah.
That's how I feel with the Jansenite, man.
Yeah.
Similar scenario. And I think that what I need to do as far as figuring that out is I need to have more of them. Having a pair just isn't enough. Like, it'll work eventually, but you're on a timeline, because they're not going to live forever. And I need to whittle down on some stuff, and I think I need to probably get at least one more pair. Yeah, ideally more, but we'll see. It's tough. I understand the frustration on that. What you're talking about, not being able to figure out like what's going on.
Especially when you're like seeing, and I know like I'm bad at comparing myself to other, like what other people are doing just in general in life anyway. But you see like these other guys who have the cat geckos and they're producing, decent number of babies every year, like with seemingly no effort. And it's just like, dude, what is? And
you ask them what you're doing, and they're like,
and it's exactly the same. Yeah, it's just like I asked one person who produces a lot, and their response was, "They're as easy as crested geckos." I'm like, dude, no, they're not. Like,
you're a liar.
Like, they may be for you, but that's not my case.
Well, so this might be a dumb question, but with like the cat gecko eggs, do you incubate them in your reptile room?
Yeah.
Try moving them somewhere with more fresh air.
Yeah.
Because that could be a thing. Like it's not like might be too, not saying, I'm sure you have good airflow in there, but not
Yeah, like I
being
got
like
like fans and stuff, but
right, but not being fresh air. I mean,
yeah.
just something to try, put them
Yeah, I
somewhere
need to find a
more by
spot that
window.
like stays mid 70s in my house
Yeah.
and just try that.
Yeah.
But actually, I take that back. They used to be in my bedroom when I first started
okay.
breeding them.
Yeah.
That's when it started.
Okay.
And then it was just like, I don't know, dude. I'm
Never
going to
mind.
figure it out, but it's just going to be, it's going to fight me the whole way.
Bury the eggs, really. Like they just kind of put them in leaf litter, right?
I mean, they bury them down maybe like an inch or so. Like they don't really go that deep, but
they're under the
they are
dirt.
under the substrate. Yeah,
that would be my
keeping
first
them in there, just letting them hatch.
I haven't. I'm gonna try this next clutch. So that's the other thing too. Like the female I'm using now, she lays like a clutch every like month and a half. So it's like you're waiting a while until you get that next clutch, and then they incubate for ever. Like
I was about to say, the incubation time is very long on those.
Yeah, it's up to like 120 days,
Holy
which is
shit.
like monitor territory. So it's a long process of, and then what really like pisses me off is they'll incubate great. The eggs will start growing. They'll be nice. They'll be pretty eggs. And then a month before they were supposed to hatch, 3 weeks before they're supposed to hatch, they mold out and they go bad. So it's like the whole process. I wonder
if they mold because the gecko inside of it died, and that's when the mold takes over. Like maybe that's possible. A sign that egg just is done.
Yeah. I don't know.
There's just so many really. There's so many factors in eggs, man, because it's like if they're too wet, they'll mold. If they're not wet enough, that babies won't be able to get out because they can't cut the eggs, and it's just such a weird.
And again, I feel your pain because on the Jansenite front, those eggs take forever to hatch too. And like I remember that first egg that I got that was actually good. I waited 150 days.
Crazy.
And to wait that long and have that much hope, and that egg still look fine, like all the way to the end, and then you cut it and the baby's fully deformed, like all the pigments there, like it was literally final term, like ready to go and just dead. It was like, talking again about a freaking crotch shot. It was like, damn, man. It's like waiting all this time.
It'd be different if they hatched in 60 days and they laid 2 eggs every 2 weeks like a leopard gecko does. It'd be like, okay, well, I'm going to have 5 more clutches this month anyway. So if this one goes bad, I have, 10 eggs in the backside that are ready to go. It's like 2 eggs every.
You have more to experiment with too and sort of figure out what works. Like with these, it's like you don't get it right. Like, guess what? You're starting over. Like, it's
tough, man. But I have a second female I'm growing out who's almost ready. So I have 2 females that kind of bounce back and forth with. But
have people had Go ahead. Have people had the mold issues with captive bred stuff, or is it more so a wild caught thing?
Well, the female I'm using now is captive bred.
Okay.
I finally broke down. I was like, that's got to be the issue. I'm just gonna buy captive bred, and it's still the same. So.
How long does it take for them to mature?
Forever. It takes so long, dude. They grow so slow. Yes.
It's such a small gecko. I thought it'd be like, 2 years, they're good to go. Like,
no, they take a long time. They grow so slow.
So are you looking at like 4 or 5 years type shit?
I guess probably because that male I have is trying to think how old he is. I got him he may be 2. And he's not even like halfway to weight yet.
Yeah.
But I don't feed them like crazy either though. So that could be part of it. But everywhere I read says you don't feed them a lot anyway, because their metabolism's slow. They're slow moving.
And I still think, man, the people who get stuff big as quick as they can to breed as soon as they can. I hear so many people are like, yeah, pretty much all my snakes die at, 8 to 12 years old. And I'm like,
there's a reason for that.
Yeah, you got it breeding when it was 2 or 3 and blah, blah, blah. Like, there's stress that goes into that stuff, man. Like, I'm a very, carpets, I'm a 5-6 year guy regardless. Colubrids, I'm like 4. Everybody's like, oh, you can do it at 3. I'm like, yeah, but do I don't need to. It's not a rush.
Doesn't mean you should just because you can.
Right. That's the like with my Apalachicola White Oaks last year, they were big enough the year before at 3 years old, but I waited, and they were 4 last year. And the female still wasn't huge, but she was fit. And she gave me a massive 17 egg clutch with no slugs. And I'm like, I think that's part of it. Like, I took my time. She wasn't massive, but she was lean and strong, and that's another difference I see in snakes. You're talking snakes specifically between a snake that got grown very fast versus one slow grown. The ones that grow very fast, when they get bigger, they almost feel like mushy. You know what I mean? But a snake that's slow grown is so strong and muscular, man. Like you can just see the difference in them. But yeah.
Yeah, I feel all my stuff very. Rush. Yeah, I mean, I don't heavy feed anything I have. Like they're very. I try to keep all my stuff fairly lean. Like lizards, like the Pelecaris. I like to see the kind of like the monitor thing, like the fold on their like abdomen. So I'm not in a rush for anything. I'm just kind of,
Yeah. Last thing I want to see is a sausage. Like on my,
yeah.
I feel like pine snakes are one of the ones. It's hard to overfeed a Pituophis, but I also don't think every pine and bull snake needs to be 8 feet long and eating squirrels. Like, I heard that on I don't remember who it was, but somebody said they literally would find roadkill squirrels and they fed their Pituophis every 7 days on the tee. And it was either a larger jumbo rat or roadkill squirrels that they froze. Damn. And it was every 5 to 7 days. And all their stuff was like 8 feet long. And I was like, good God. I feed all my pits small rats. And it varies. Like, don't get me wrong, they're pissed by the time I go to feed them. But, my albino male, he is so strong. He's got like definition. He's muscular. He's still big. I had him out the other day. That dude's every bit of 6 foot, but it doesn't look skinny, but he gets a small rat every 7 to, I try not to do a full 2 weeks, but again, I feed smaller stuff.
Yeah.
Like, so if I was doing large rats, shit, like he could eat a large rat, but no, I ain't doing that. For one, that's going to hurt my pocket a lot more. But two, you just don't need it, man. Like, I don't know.
Yeah, that corn I got from my dad, dude. That thing's going on a.
Oh my God,
dude! I saw that picture. I was like, Jesus, that thing was fat.
We're looking at it. Like I remember that I went up like when he had him in my old room when I was living at home, and I remember walking up there at one point and looking at me like, what the fuck? He's like, what are you doing, man?
That dude looked like
feeding that thing like 2 adult mice a week. So I was like, holy shit.
Was he actually
always hungry? Like that thing is like, it's like you go into the cage and that thing comes out like, oh, food. I'm like, yeah, you don't need a damn thing.
Jeez, man.
Even the bigger Alterna that I have of his now was a little on the. It's not like nearly as chunky as that corn, but definitely on the chunkier side.
And it's hard to get weight off of a snake, dude. At least in a healthy way. Yeah. But yeah, dude, that thing looked like me and Smitty after a Chili's date night, boy. Good God.
And I think it's a male too. Like if it was a female, I'd be like, okay, like you'll go on a diet, we'll cut back on food, and then I'll pair you, and hopefully that'll kind of expedite some things, and you'll drop some weight. But I think it's a boy, and it's like
a homie was
man.
Stuffed.
I need to probe it probably to make sure, but it's just like, Jesus Christ. It's a freaking chunk, dude. And it makes the wild caught corns that I have that are, I don't know if they're the same age or not, but it makes the wild caught adult corns that I have look like yearlings. It's like, I can't even put you in with a female because you're going to freaking smother whichever one I put in with you. Like, you're going to freaking lay on top of them. They're just going to die.
And it's only what, 2-3 years old?
I want to say that was from the first Ladies Island clutch.
No, it was the second. Let me.
Oh.
Yeah, it's a 22 because the male I have from you is a 21. That was when you first had them, and then the
that
22s.
One's not. Those aren't het ghost, right?
No, mine are pure ladies.
I couldn't remember. I was like, well, shit.
Well, I don't know if you gave him one of the het ghosts.
I did. I don't think
I don't think you did either. I'm pretty sure you just had a spare Ladies Island, like pure, and gave one to.
I mean, if that was a female, dude, and I paired it, like the clutch I would get out of that thing would be unbelievable. Assuming it doesn't have issues because of just pure obesity.
Right. Is it, how long is it? Oof. I mean, we're talking like 4 foot?
Somewhere between 3 and 4, probably.
Jeez, man. Yeah, my girl from that clutch eats small adults, and that's a meal. Like, it doesn't struggle with it, but that's a meal, you know. Like, jeez. I'm hoping next year I can make some Ladies Islands if I start getting this girl a little bit more size. She's so pretty, dude. She's a dick, but she's so pretty. It's so funny. My male from the 21, he's great. He's probably the only snake in my collection that I could like slowly go in and pick him up and he'll come right out. He's one of the first snakes. He doesn't musk, doesn't bite, no nothing. He's one of the best snakes I have. He's one of the first ones I take out for people. That female is a bitch.
They're kind of 50-50 because I've had a similar thing where like they're either like super easy to deal with and super handleable, or they're just spastic assholes.
Yeah, that's how the female is. She is not having it, but she's so pretty, dude. She is so pretty. I'm glad I have those two because she's like a lot brighter red and a lot more of the crimsony, almost orange on the sides. Or like really light, almost yellow orange on the sides.
You need to see this trio that I have now that I collected this year. Like,
yeah.
I need to move them in the room still because they're all like they're still over here off to my right. But like the male in that group is like, oh my god,
damn,
just super nice thick black borders on the saddles. Like doesn't look like the other Ladies Island stuff that I've collected. Like the other two look pretty on par. But that male, like, he does not look like the other Ladies Island stuff. He looks more sort of classic Okatee. Yeah. But
I really need to go find a female Colleton for my Cumbie project because my male's getting some size on him and he's real pretty. I need to go find a girl. But
gotta go like snakes in Illinois, man.
Wish you could what?
I said I wish we could collect snakes in Illinois.
Yeah.
Can't do shit.
Yeah, dude. Illinois is strict about their stuff. And South Carolina is so funny, man. We can collect anything we want. I go out there. I mean, not anything. We can't collect like hog noses and stuff.
Right.
But like I go out there and take the biggest rat snake I could find and nobody's going to bat an eye. But God forbid I produce some eggs and sell one over 21 inches. Like, this shit pisses me off. It makes no sense, dude. It really does.
I mean, I think it could be way worse. Like it could be like Georgia or it could be like Illinois.
Yeah, for sure. But
like, it's not that unreasonable.
It's just for me, it's backwards. It should be you can't collect anymore, but what you have, you can produce and sell whatever you want. Like, you know what I mean? Like it just seems.
I'd prefer it the way it is, honestly.
I mean, yeah, if I had to choose, yeah, I'd probably take it.
21 inches on a corn, like that's not like that's a corn with a little bit of age on it.
Yeah, but
it's like you have plenty of time to get them sold before then if they're legit F1s.
It's just so odd to me. You know, like this is to help the wild population, but you're not helping the wild population at all, other than making it illegal for other people to come.
I'm convinced they went to like a Repticon in Colombia or something and saw the amount of wild caught adult animals on tables and like, oh, here's the problem.
Yeah, like they were out there catching black racers and shit.
There's been multiple times where I've gone to Colombia and like there's tables of just stuff that you can clearly tell those people just went into their backyard, plucked as many adult copperheads and stuff as they could find, slapped it on a table, and it's all profit.
I bet you just because there was literally black racers there. I bet you people found them in the fucking parking lot there and was like, "Oh, here's $20.
Put it in a cup."
Like, that. I guess in that aspect, I do get it. Somebody asked in the chat how my red-tail boas are doing. They are doing fantastic.
I forgot about those.
Yeah, they're super
I didn't even
cool.
know you had them.
Yeah, I got some.
Montrose got them again.
Yeah, I got some island locality dwarf red tails.
Oh hell yeah!
Yeah, they're. I've always loved red tail boas like my entire life. Always wanted some, but didn't want the giants, and I couldn't afford the ones that stayed smaller. And Montrose gave me an opportunity to get some from him for a price I couldn't say no to. So that's one of those like side projects that I'm like super fucking excited about.
Yeah.
But they're great, man. They feed well. Turns out it's so weird. Like the male didn't eat for me the first time I offered food. And I was like, fuck, man. I'm already doing something wrong. And turns out the thing was in shed. I didn't even know it. And then it ate right away after that. And I was like, oh, dope. So, but man, those things are cool. One of them took a swipe at me the other day. I was taking it out and it was like, it was very half-assed, but I was like, bitch, don't do that. But they're one of those ones I'm almost like paranoid about because with the true red tails, you got to be real careful with the feeding because if you give them too big of a meal, they'll throw up. And once they start throwing up, it's real hard to get them to stop.
Yeah.
So I'm very weird. You don't feed too often. You don't feed too big. So I'm probably going to be growing these for probably 6 years. Like it's going to be a while before they're anywhere near ready to go, but that's fine. This is one of those dream projects for me. So I'm very, very happy. Very excited. But yep.
What's up with the mole kings? How are those doing?
The male is finally eating regularly. It is out of my hand. I have to hold him on the table and tease feed, but he is eating, and that is all I can ask for.
Win is a win, baby.
Yeah, I'll take it. He's taking frozen thawed. I keep waiting for the day he'll just take off the tongs in the tub, but dude, he just runs and loses his shit every time. But yeah, I swear, as soon as I pick him up, as long as he grabs it by the head, it's down the hatch.
Won't drop feed?
No, won't drop feed. Drop feed live, no problem, but frozen thawed, don't want it. I'm hoping I kept trying to like hand feed, then try and drop, and he kept not doing it. So I'm going to hand feed several times for a couple months and then hope he's got it figured out and maybe he'll drop feed. But all the other milks are doing awesome. They're growing pretty well. They're beautiful. I love them. Those are staying. I love the little milks.
Yeah, I love my Andeans, man.
Yeah.
If I found another female at Daytona, I might snag it depending on how much playable money I got.
I haven't even seen those. I haven't been to your place in a while. I need to come over see them.
Those and Conicus are kind of on the radar for Daytona.
I always forget you have the Conicus. Those are cool.
And another Metallica spider. Because I lost mine. Mine died.
Brenden, how do you feel about spiders?
I don't fuck with spiders, dude.
Yes.
Come on.
I can't do it. Nope.
I'm not
I've tried. I can't.
I'm not one of those people that's like
try it with.
I honestly don't even remember what it was. It was the fuck was it name? It was a Arizona blonde.
Oh, okay.
Or another.
Yeah.
It was cool. Like it was cool, but I just they're not for me, man.
I'm one of those people that like I'm not afraid of them, but I'm like, yeah, I'm good. Like
Yeah, nah.
Yeah.
I mean, if it makes you feel better, I draw the line at centipedes.
Yeah, fuck those two. I couldn't. I can't
Dude,
do those.
I had a centipede once, and that thing really gave me the freaking heebie-jeebies, dude.
Those things, true. Those are the ones
too
that
many
truly.
legs.
Those things like truly freak me out.
Millipedes
like,
are cool. I don't have an issue with millipedes, but centipedes.
Yeah.
It's the giant ones for me with those massive pinchers up front and the legs.
They move so damn quick.
Oh, dude. Like, no. It looks like someone's going to burrow under your skin and
man.
Eat you from the inside out. Like, no.
I'd like to do some scorpions at some point, but those would be fun. I think.
Dude,
what species of those are you gonna do? What you been eyeballing there? Species.
I haven't been eyeballing anything because if I eyeball it, I'm gonna end up buying them.
Yeah.
I don't even know. Like, I know nothing about them. I don't even know what to start with, to be honest with you.
Dude, whenever I worked at PetSmart's always got like a big ass emperor scorpion.
Yeah.
And anytime somebody wanted our scorpion, I was like, fuck, dude. Because like I was the guy that did all the animal stuff when I was there, or like the reptile stuff. And man, anytime somebody got a scorpion, I was like, all right, y'all gonna have to give me like 10 minutes, dude. Because like I would grab that thing like with the tongs and it would be like, what? I'm like, no, like, nope. Hated that thing, dude. Those things intimidate me more than anything because that big ass thing just staring at you in the face the whole time. I'm like,
That's why if I go to every now and then, Petco has their like half off sale on tarantulas and stuff, and so I'll jet over there and scope it out because sometimes you'll get a really good deal on something, and usually I'll get an extra 10% off if I cup it for them. Because the girls that work there, they're always like terrified. I haven't seen any guys that work there, but it's always girls, and they're like, I can see they have the cup and they're just kind of staring at the cage like they really don't want to do it. And I'm like, you want me to cup it? And they're like, yeah, sure. And like every time I've done it, they're like, here's an extra 10% off on top of the 50%. Like,
nice.
So I'm like, hell yeah, I'll cup these things every damn time. Like,
oh yeah,
shit.
Oh yeah. There was one guy. This is nothing relevant to what we're talking about, but there's one guy when I worked at PetSmart. He kept snakes, but this dude was terrified of frogs. Like, I mean, not like, yeah, I don't really fuck with frogs.
Legit phobic.
Yeah, like he came up, those little aquatic frogs that are like,
the African clawed frogs.
Yeah, the African clawed frogs get pretty big. These are like,
talking about the fire bellies.
No, those are fire belly toads. Maybe they are the clawed frogs, but they're like the little itty bitty ones that would go down. And somebody came in and wanted some. And he came up to me. I was like in the middle of doing crickets. He goes, hey, you need to go get some frogs for somebody. I was like, dude, I'm doing something. Can you just deal with it? He was like, no, go get the fucking frogs. And I was like, okay, dude, these little itty bitty tiny frogs. And that dude, but he kept snakes. Like he had several of them. And I was like, dude, that's one phobia I'll never understand.
There's a lot of them like that though, where it's like,
it's just
where did this come from? Like what happened to you as a child that made you this terrified?
Like I get snakes, I get tarantulas, I get scorpions, I get people being afraid of those. Like that makes sense. But a frog, it's so cute. Like, what do you mean? I've never once seen
an African clawed frog. Those are the dumbest looking frogs like on the planet.
Little tiny thing, dude. And they were just, I think they're adorable. I think all frogs are freaking the cutest things ever. But
dude, I've been eyeballing those Malayan horn frogs a lot recently.
Dude, I have to make sure I don't even think about frogs, because that'll be a path I go down.
Dart frogs will suck you in, buddy.
See, dart frogs don't do it.
Dude, my girlfriend wants dart frogs so bad.
Do it. Let me help you. I will.
I feel like dart frogs would be right up your alley, though. I feel like dart frogs would be right up your alley, though, Brenden.
I guarantee you guys get a tank, you're gonna have 6 tanks in no time. Like,
yeah, see, that's the problem.
But if you get like thumbnails and stuff, you don't have to have like bigger setups. Like you can have one of the 12x12x18 exos and have, a trio of thumbnails, depending on the species, live comfortably in that without any issues.
See, I would, if I did darts, I would want the big ones and the big ones that are green and black. I don't know what they're called. I don't know nothing
Probably the
about them.
mints, like the mint
They get
green ones.
they get like pretty
They get
big.
huge. Yeah, it's like the biggest
Yeah.
species.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, the
Those.
pollinators.
Yeah.
Oh boy, those would. Those are the only dart frogs I like, but I love toads. I love
Mhm.
I love Pac-Man frogs and pixie frogs. Like all the frogs, man, I love them, but I'm not doing it. Like, and especially like gray tree frogs. God, I would fuck with some gray tree frogs. Like,
Dude, I have
big
so many in our yard that just like you can hear them at night, and I just want to go grab a bunch of them and throw them in the tank.
dude, gray tree frogs will always be some of my favorites.
I'd want to keep barkers if we were
Yeah,
talking
I was
local.
literally
Yeah.
talking about. I was just
You
about to
find a
say,
big barker, man. That's a cool.
that's a
animal.
cool freaking frog, man. And then like I have this grand vision one day of having like a massive like 8-9 foot enclosure and just having a big old bullfrog in there. Like that'd be sick.
Do like a chungus.
Do like a half aquatic, half land setup for them, and boy, that'd be so cool. But I'm like, no, don't need to do that.
I'm gonna end up with some at some point.
Yeah,
because like the horned frogs are from the same area the cat gecko is, so it's like it would work fucking perfect. But that's another rabbit hole that I don't need to go down, dude.
But see, that's where the grow tent would be cool, because if
know.
you did a grow tent with some stuff that lived up high, you wouldn't have to worry about the frog eating the lizard. Ooh, we have a whole ecosystem in that bitch.
I know.
Come on now.
I've already been thinking about it.
That's always been like one thing I think would be really cool, is to have like a massive setup of different species that occupy different levels of the enclosure, man. Like,
that's why a lot of the zoos have like Costa Rican Aratus in with Bushmasters.
Yeah. Or like
species that don't live in Costa Rica with other Costa Rican species, but they're pretty, so
fuck it.
Okay.
I always like seeing like the mambas with the gaboons. Like I've always thought those were cool setups, but man,
I don't envy the keeper that's got to go in there.
No, like what do you do, dude? It's just death all around you. Like you're not safe on the floor, you're not safe in the trees. Like fuck that. No sir. It's cool, but no. Like we went to the Columbia Zoo or Riverbank Zoo whenever we went out by Jack, and they had a setup like that with like 2 or 3 mambas with like 3 or 4 gaboons, and I was like, "Fuck that!" And I mean giant gaboons. Like, no.
Yeah,
but well, we have officially surpassed 2 hours. Is there anything else you want to talk about tonight, Smitty?
I'm curious to try the grow tents with Gonyosoma.
Yeah.
I bet they'd work well.
That's something that's crossed my mind. My only concern is like it seems like if they find something that they can get out of, they're probably going to.
Yeah.
They're pretty damn good at it. So my main concern, because I've thought about it in the past, and you just mentioned grow tents. I feel like they would do well in those, especially with them not having like the sides being opaque and stuff, and not being able to see what's going on outside. So it's something
I feel like a lot of the
Gonyosoma group and ask if anybody's tried it.
I feel like a lot of species we keep would do really well in grow tents.
Yeah, absolutely. I like you said, Smitty, like with the getting out and stuff, I would worry about snakes in a grow tent more than anything. Like,
for sure.
I don't know though. If you can keep monitors inside of one without them getting out, I feel like
I mean Skylar does it. And he doesn't have any issues.
Yeah, Skylar swears by those things.
Because those having the claws they do, and then the smarts they have. Like if you can manage to keep a monitor in one, without the issues, and you might be all right. I'll have to look into it.
I'm gonna try it with the Plecris. I think that's gonna be my next build.
Yeah, I think they would do fantastic.
What size would you do?
I want to get like the.
Would you be keeping like a big group of them in there?
I just want to do a pair and like a big setup, like the 4x4x7, like the big something I can get into. I think that'd be cool.
Put a little chair in there.
Yeah, just get a little stump, just hang out.
sitting there and just have them come to you.
Yeah. Plus, I do all the house plants and stuff too. So like I could just throw a bunch of plants in there, grow plants, and have the animals to be a win-win.
Yeah, that's the other thing you're super into that we didn't get to talk about is the plants, man. Good God.
Yeah, I got a lot. My house is a jungle, dude. It's insane.
That's awesome though, dude. Like that would be so cool. I've always wanted to do that, but man, I don't do plants.
People walk in my house and they're like, "Holy shit!" Like, dude, I told you. Like,
here's a machete. The bathroom is off to the right.
Yeah, like you walk in my living room, it's like fish tank, live plants out of it, plants all around. I have shelves on all the walls. I'm just covered in plants. It's a problem, man.
That's awesome.
Do you have fish in the tank?
Yeah, I have pearl danios in there currently.
Okay.
Yeah. But I found out my cat's been taking them out slowly, one by one.
Oh my God.
I had a dozen of them in there, and I noticed it was like I had 12 one day, and then there was 10, and then there was 9, then there was 7, and they weren't dead in the tank. So I was like, dude, what is going on? So I come home from work one day, and there's one half-eaten laying on the floor in the living room, and the cat just
was the baby.
Right. I was like, you little bitch, man.
Yeah, that sucks.
Well, I now have a ton of guppies, so I'm something of an aquaculturist myself.
Dude, freaking cats, man, they piss me off so bad. Like
I can't be mad at her though, because she's such a sweet cat. But it's like, dude,
like I love cats, man. But my mom, like growing up, my mom always had cats. And I had the glass tanks with just the screen mesh top. It wasn't like metal.
Mm-hmm.
One day that bitch was crawling on my tank and broke through the screen. Somehow the snake didn't get out and she didn't go looking for the snake. Thank God. But right through that sucker. And my mom was like, I'm so sorry. I'll buy you new lids with metal tops. And that solved it. But I was like, these freaking cats, man. You probably just scared the shit out of my hog nose. Like, God damn.
I have 2 Danios left that have made it. So out of a dozen. So she's very good at what she does, apparently.
Stone cold killer.
It is what it is.
Well, I'm really glad that I set up these guppies and got so many fry on the year that I don't produce rhinos.
Can you like freeze them and like, or is it? Or is it
probably could. I would kind of.
Or is it the live?
Actually, become kind of attached to them, but.
But you're gonna feed them to your rhinos. Like.
I can turn it off.
When I can turn it off. Did they just not go for you this year? Or?
Yeah, I didn't. I had the heater on in the room.
Oh,
mostly for the spiders. So the spiders kind of fucked up my season. And it didn't get very cool in there. And I think that's why, because I paired some up and the males tried, but the females were like not giving it up. So
gotcha.
Whatever. But my season so far consists of 3 corn snake eggs out of 9, because the other 6 were bad.
Damn.
And then I have 1 Jansenii egg that the boys in the Jansenii in the Ganyasoma chat think is okay, but I'm not getting my hopes up again.
Yeah. I didn't even know you got more Jansenii eggs.
I had, so I found this egg because that female lays slugs all the time. Like if I'm in there cleaning, there's slugs in there, usually like 2 or 3 on average. And I found 1 egg under the hide that I was like, oh, that one actually looks like half decent, but it was kind of sunken in a little bit, like it had been dehydrated. So I was like, let me slap it on some spag and see what happens. And it's plumped back up, but it doesn't look great to me. Like it's not molded or anything, but I feel like it's going to be a repeat as last time, where I'm going to wait 4 months and then it's just nothing's going to be there. So this will probably be the one to hatch, go figure. Cause I didn't even put it in the incubator. I've had it sitting in a deli cup in the room. It gets moved periodically when I'm doing stuff with spiders, because it's usually sitting with all the spiders in one of the sections. And I'm like, this is probably going to be the one that's going to hatch, but I'm not going to get my hopes up. So
I know the feeling, man.
Yeah.
I get it.
How long when did you find it?
We're on day like 120.
Oh, Jesus.
I found it back in like March 1st, I think.
God damn. How did I not know this?
Because I didn't really tell anybody, because I'm like, what's the point? Like, it's probably not going to amount to anything. And I was like, that's assuming it even bounced back in the first place, which again, it did, but still, I'm like, I'm not going to go be like, oh my God, I got another chance in egg. Cause it's like, why bother? Don't get excited. Don't get attached. It's how you get disappointed.
Yeah. Yes, it is.
It's kind of depressing when you think about it.
It is, but
don't get excited about anything because everybody's just going to disappoint you in the long run.
Yep.
Pretty much.
Yep. Trust no one. Survive.
Life sucks and then you die.
Oh, man. Well, with that, are we ready to wrap this one up, boys?
Yeah.
I'm good. Like a wiener on prom night.
Okay.
Yeah. Something like
this
that. This
episode was brought to you by Fulvius Apparel. FulviusApparel.com. Use the code THN at checkout. Got some new designs added. I uploaded a bearded dragon one today. For the longest time, I was like, man, I need to do a beardy, but I couldn't think of a design that I liked and that wasn't like beardy momish.
Yeah, you should have put one on the couch.
Which is to think of a design that isn't beardy momish is actually kind of tough, as it turns out. Mm-hmm. But I have one. It's on the site. If you're interested, go check it out. BlackBoxCages.com. Also use the code THN25 at checkout. Get a little discount. Save even more. Choose the pickup option when you're making your purchase. Save on shipping if you're near North Georgia, and then you can just drive on up to BlackBox, grab your stuff, take it home, put your animals in it, and enjoy it forever. And Steve Snaketuary and his Venom Hot Sauce. Collect the whole set. You won't be disappointed. Cottonmouth sauce. If you have to pick one, again, cottonmouth sauce is it. So I believe we'll be back for Snakes and Stogies on Monday. At this point, I don't like to say that we will for sure because I honestly don't know. But we'll be back when we're back.
Yeah, same with Flippin' Tin. Gabe's in Belize right now. And I'm going to Skies next weekend. So not sure what we'll be doing with that. Yeah. I'm going to go see my boy. It's been too long. So we'll see. But whenever Flippin' Tin does come back, we're going to do an episode with Gabe. Because he's freaking destroying it in Belize right now.
Jihadi George does Belize.
They are killing it out there, dude. I'm really excited to do that episode with him. So stay tuned.
All right. Well, thank you, everybody. We'll see y'all later.
Bye-bye.